Hi, beautiful soul. This is day 23 of 100 Days to Emotional Power, the habits of highly successful people. Today, we are going to sit together and uncover something that many people think they know, but almost no one truly understands. The habits that make people not just successful, but consistently powerful in their lives. And I want to make this talk real, concrete, and tangible so that you can recognize these habits in your life, in your thinking, and start applying them today. Because success is not magic, success is not luck, success is a set of patterns repeated consistently that create momentum, clarity, and resilience. Let's start with the first truth. Highly successful people protect their attention ruthlessly. While most of us scroll endlessly, watch unnecessary TV, or answer every notification immediately, highly successful people have a different relationship with their attention. They treat their mind like a treasure chest. For example, a top entrepreneur might check emails only twice a day, leaving the rest of the day for deep thinking, creating, and making strategic moves. Another example is a writer wakes up and spends the first 2 hours on their manuscript without checking social media or messages, even if the world outside is noisy. You can apply this today by simply closing your messaging apps for 1 hour, focusing fully on the most important task, and noticing how your mind becomes sharper, calmer, and more creative. Now, the second truth. They turn routines into invisible leverage. Most people think habits are boring or mechanical. Highly successful people know that certain daily rituals create exponential results over time. For example, a scientist who reads a little every day on new discoveries may in 5 years know more than a competitor who reads in bursts. A musician who practices scales consistently for 15 minutes daily improves faster than someone who spends a whole day practicing once a week. And here's a practical tip. Identify just one small habit that directly supports your growth and do it daily at the same time. For instance, 10 minutes of journaling ideas, 5 minutes of reviewing your goals, or 15 minutes of focused learning done consistently creates invisible compounding power. The third truth is often overlooked. Highly successful people embrace their emotional edge. Most people wait to feel ready or inspired. Successful people don't wait. They work with their emotional energy, even when it's messy. For example, a leader may feel anxious about a presentation, but instead of waiting for confidence, they step in anyway, using their nervous energy to fuel clarity and persuasion. A student might feel dread about a challenging topic but studies it anyway, transforming resistance into mastery. The tip is next time you feel a small emotional pushback, such as fear, doubt, or irritation, don't avoid it. Notice it, label it, and see it as a signal for action rather than a stop sign. The fourth truth is that they structure their environment to make good decisions automatic. Success is not just what you do, it is what your environment allows you to do easily. For example, a highly productive professional keeps healthy snacks visible and not hidden, removes distractions from their workspace, schedules meetings strategically, and surrounds themselves with people who push them forward rather than pull them back. Another example is a writer keeps a notebook by the bed to capture ideas immediately instead of hoping to remember them. The practical tip is look around your space today. Remove or minimize one friction point that prevents action. It could be putting your phone in another room, pre-prepping your gym bag, or leaving your study notes ready on the desk. The fifth truth is they reflect but don't ruminate. Most people mistake overthinking for planning. Highly successful people think deeply but efficiently. For example, a business leader reviews the past week, asks what worked, what didn't, and makes small adjustments. They don't replay mistakes endlessly. A musician listens to recordings critically, noting improvements to make, not berating themselves for imperfection. The tip is at the end of your day, spend 5 minutes reflecting with clarity. One thing you did well, one thing you can adjust tomorrow, one gratitude. Keep it short, keep it constructive, avoid the mental spiral that drains energy. The sixth truth is they treat learning like oxygen. Success is never static. Highly successful people read, observe, and absorb relentlessly, but they do it with focus and selectivity. For example, a tech innovator reads one high-quality article per day on emerging trends instead of thousands of random headlines. A designer studies one new technique weekly rather than consuming endless tutorials. Practical tip here is choose one focused learning activity each day. A book chapter, one TED talk, a new skill video, and integrate it. Even 15 minutes daily compounds into expertise faster than sporadic marathon learning sessions. Yes. Don't forget the compound effect. If you do something constantly, at the end, you see a big result. The seventh truth is they celebrate progress, not just results. Many people postpone acknowledgement until the goal is reached. Highly successful people understand that momentum is built by appreciating small wins. For example, an athlete may celebrate completing a single workout. A writer may celebrate finishing a paragraph. And a leader may celebrate a constructive meeting. The tip is today, pick one small accomplishment, no matter how minor it seems, and consciously acknowledge it. This trains your brain to value action, not just outcome, and keeps motivation alive. The eighth truth is they're selective about influence. Highly successful people know that opinions, advice, and social noise can derail progress. They filter input, seek only constructive feedback, and ignore needless criticism. For example, an entrepreneur may ignore unsolicited advice from friends who have never run a business. A student may disregard discouraging classmates who fear change. The tip is today, notice one moment you feel pressured by someone else's opinion. Ask yourself, does this truly help me? If not, mentally set it aside. Your growth is your responsibility. The ninth truth, they take consistent action in imperfect conditions. Waiting for ideal circumstances is a trap. For example, a chef practices new recipes with limited ingredients. A writer types on a broken laptop. A leader makes decisions amid uncertainty. The tip is take one action today, no matter how imperfect, and observe how momentum begins to build. The first imperfect step is the catalyst for growth. Finally, the 10th truth, They invest in emotional and physical energy daily. Success is not strategy, it is stamina. Highly successful people sleep strategically, eat to fuel performance, practice micro meditations, and take short breaks to reset focus. Practical tip. What is the practical tip here? Pick one energy investment today. Stretch for 5 minutes, drink water mindfully, close your eyes for 2 deep breaths before a task. These small acts create a reservoir of sustainable power. Even small daily steps, such as reading a page, taking focused action, observing your emotions, celebrating tiny wins, they all strengthen your inner momentum. Over weeks or months, you will notice a growing sense of clarity, resilience, and confidence in your decisions and your presence in life. If this talk spoke to you, if you recognize yourself in these examples, if you felt like this talk felt familiar in your life, and it describes your inner experience, then keep listening. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel because this is day 23 and 100 days to emotional power. And every day we explore one emotional truth that many people live with silently. We will build emotional strength together, not with pressure, not with fake positivity, but with honest reflections that feel real, human, and deeply supportive. You can listen while cooking, cleaning, commuting, working, or resting, like a quiet self-talk that strengthens you slowly. Drop your ideas, questions, and comments down below. I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video.